Hello,
Sure.
everybody, and welcome to Disney Plus Pals. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Happy
This
holidays.
is probably the first of at least two Christmas videos. I actually filmed one yesterday at 2 in the morning, so hopefully that will be up either the 24th or Christmas itself.
I too created something, but I don't know if I feel comfortable uploading it.
You can post it if you wanna, but um, we have just watched the final episode of Hawkeye Season 1. I really hope there is a Season 2, but, okay, let's just get it out of the way. I want to ask both of you, how do you feel about Kingpin dying? Jack, you
I
can go
don't think he's
first.
dead.
Did someone just get a fucking phone call?
Not on my end.
It's not on my end either, Cher. What the fuck? What the fuck, Cher?
It's
You're,
not me. It's
you're
the
ruining
home phone.
Christmas!
It's the home phone. I can't control it.
Destroy it!
Cast it into the fire.
Jack, you can go first. Oh my fucking god.
I don't. If he's dead, my review for this entire show goes down 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Why would you bring him back, have him be so good, and kill him off camera?
That's very fitting. Even if they would have killed him on camera, I would have been absolutely pissed either way because if you kill him, honestly, I prefer if you kill characters off camera because then you can retcon. And while I'm usually not a fan of retcons, this is exactly why they exist.
Mm.
Do you have any
When
opinions on Kingpin's death share?
I don't think he's dead.
Well, I have good news. He's not.
Good.
Hey.
It's a comic book thing they're doing here. What I assume, yeah, he's not dead. I didn't know that. I had to Google it. What
Ooh,
happened
the comic
is
person had to Google something.
in the
Ooh.
comic books, Echo shoots him in the face, and it does not kill him. It instead fucking fucks up his eyes, and he goes blind for a little bit. So I think maybe during the Echo show, because I have been assuming this whole time that Kingpin was going to be the main villain of the Echo show.
Yeah.
Maybe during that, and I won't talk about other things, but I don't know. This character could have a future down the road.
I feel like he has to, because like D'Onofrio was such a big part of the Save Daredevil campaign and everything, and to have him back in the MCU now, back in the same role, you're not bringing him back for one episode and killing him off.
It was.
You're not. Kevin Feige, I've lost all faith in you if that was what you've just done. But
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
believe it. I'm in so much denial.
When I first saw it, I thought it was legit, like, no, he's dead. And the reason I thought that is Ralph Boner. If you look back at WandaVision, say what you want, they brought in Evan Peters to literally just be a boner joke. And as much as I dislike it and hope they retcon that, that's what they did. So, the fact that Kingpin was in just one episode and then he could have died, I sadly could have seen it. And here's the thing, I actually haven't seen Daredevil, so Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin for me was only exposed in this episode. And I thought it was pretty great, honestly. I loved how they shot him to look so big. I loved his voice. I remember you mentioning he didn't have the cane in the show. I really liked that he fucking broke an arrow with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then just kept going. Like, I don't know how he is in Daredevil. What I saw on screen in Hawkeye, that's my Kingpin. That's the fucker who's like, oh no, I'm the king of crime. I shouldn't have to get my hands dirty. But if I need to, I can fucking do it.
Light spoilers for Daredevil here. This was really fun seeing him again, and like with the hat and the floral Hawaiian shirt and everything was great. But yeah, like the first season, he's in you see him and everything, but he doesn't get his hands dirty. He doesn't get his hands dirty until one character really pisses him off, and he smashes that guy. He destroys that guy's head with a car door.
Here he destroys
the
car
whole
door.
tone of the series changes from then on. He is amazing in Daredevil season 1, great. He's not in season 2 too much because he's spoilers. Season 3, he's amazing. It was so good to see him again. Okay, you're good, Cher. You're good. Yeah.
Yay!
Cher, do you intend to watch
Daredevil's
Daredevil?
a must-watch now that he's back. As soon as you get a chance, watch it on Netflix.
I still gotta finish Jessica Jones first, but okay.
I might watch Daredevil because, like, here's the thing. I have never had any interest in seeing Daredevil, but because I like Marvel, I did watch the first 2 episodes, and I think it was at the end of the first one where I was just like, I do not care. So I wonder if I would have given the show more of a chance if it would have gotten better.
Give it more of a chance, because it is...
I never got to Kingpin.
Yeah. Season 1 is good. The first arc of Season 2 is great. The rest of Season 2, take it or leave it. Season 3 is phenomenal the whole way through. It is worth your time if you're willing to put it in.
My favorite thing about this Kingpin might just be his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so deep and booming, and yet everything he says sounds very carefully crafted. I definitely see why people demanded this actor back.
He's got that sort of performance where you can tell it's like he's thinking about exactly what he says before he says it. And it's like he's being so careful with every word until the moments where that facade starts to crack. When he's talking with the clown mafia guy. Yes, when he's talking with him.
Mafia.
She has betrayed us, or something. That facade starts to crack. The moments when he goes all out insanity in Daredevil are amazing. We need more of that. Unhinged Kingpin is some of the best Kingpin.
So here's the thing. I'll go ahead and say I have added this, along with Spider-Man No Way Home, to my Marvel list. And I actually did a count. In the event that Kingpin is gone for good, this show falls 3 spaces for me. Maybe more. Because it is currently in my top 10. I don't know if it's going to stay there if Kingpin's dead. If... I really liked WandaVision, but one of the things that always holds me back is there's a ton of shit in WandaVision that pisses me off. Because looking back, if you... the best mysteries are the ones you can watch multiple times and be like, gosh, I could have seen that coming, or I'm so glad I solved that. With the Agatha shit...
Every Edgar Wright movie.
With the Agatha shit, it really just feels like, yeah, we know. We fucking know. And it gets annoying. And the jokes and stuff, like the sitcom stuff, to me, almost kind of push it down in a way now, because I'm like, it almost feels like filler pushing away from the plot. And the Ralph Boner thing was icing on the cake, where I'm like, I love this show, but every time I think back on it, I have bad memories with it now. Kingpin is bigger than that for me.
On a wee point with that, I assume, did you know Bucky was the Winter Soldier going into Captain America 2?
I did.
Okay.
Nope, because I'm not a comic book person.
Fair. Do you think that ruined the experience at all for you? The whole way through going, yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know.
I would say that there was enough with Winter Soldier, specifically with, I would say Winter Soldier himself in the show is more of, less of a character in that one movie and more of this force of nature that's coming in. Honestly, if he had a few less lines, he would be he would be very similar to what Taskmaster was in the Black Widow movie. If he had less lines,
don't bring that up with me.
If he had less lines, he would be a Terminator-esque figure.
What?
Taskmaster was.
I gotta watch. I gotta watch Black Widow.
Okay. Terminator then. If he had less lines, he'd basically just be like, "I'm the Terminator. I show up, I chase you, and I try to beat you down." But I think what stops that for me in Winter Soldier is the mystery isn't who is the Winter Soldier. The mystery is what the fuck is going on with Hydra? What is this Artem Zola shit? Who is behind it all? And it ends up being Redford or whatever his name is. In WandaVision, the mystery is literally, why is this happening? Who's doing this? And I thought the best episode of WandaVision was the one where they show, at episode 8, I believe it was, where Wanda shows how she created it all and the origin of that shit. I feel like, to a degree, WandaVision didn't need a villain. So Agatha, to me, will always kind of be filler, even though I love Catherine Hahn.
And I love the song. Woo!
When I go back to review WandaVision, I think it's going to be very interesting to compare how I felt then and how I feel now.
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I don't exactly remember watching Captain America: First Adventure until last year, and how I completely forgot about that again.
Yeah, we did a review where Cher forgot Captain America: The First Avenger. I'm still mad at you for that, because that is still second on my list.
Well, that's your opinion.
I'm looking forward to all your Marvel sort of series you're going to do, Kneale, because I want to hear your reasonings for a lot of these.
I mean, I just want to be fair and don't want people to get mad at me, but also I'm like, fuck it, it's my opinion, bitch.
Yeah?
That's how I felt when I made that top 10 list.
But with this, I think my favorite scene with Kingpin wasn't an action scene, wasn't anything. It's when he's talking to Echo, and at first he's not signing, but then he starts doing it, and when he says, "I love you," I don't know if it's just me. Did that feel fake for you guys? Because I thought he actually loved her.
It was a load of figgy pudding.
I think he cares about her in his own way to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, I think he loves her as much as Kingpin can love anyone.
Oh, watch yourself some Daredevil.
I've heard the meme about Vanessa,
Yes.
but that's all I've heard.
Oh, it's been a while, but...
Where is she in this? How much of Daredevil's canon? I need to know.
Listen, I also want to say this for the people out there, because the number one thing I heard people say when they were like, please bring back the actors, were, hey, the show doesn't need to be canon, just bring back the actors. But now that they're here, the number one thing I'm hearing is, how does this connect to the show? Guys?
Leslie, now that it's back, now that we have the actor back, I just want a yes or no.
I think it is going to be a crisp no, and I think...
In that case, no complaint. But Marvel, just please let us know. We need to... There are implications if certain things are canon that are kind of important.
Well, the question is, do they, like, because I know Elektra ends up being in that show, and Bullseye and Punisher. The question is, do they want to carry everything or do their own stories with that stuff? And my answer would instantly be, they should probably just do their own thing. And
Wasn't there an Elektra movie?
There was a very old one. It is not good.
I think that's a spin-off of the Daredevil movie as well from back in the day.
Yeah, but it had like nothing to do with it, and there was a man whose tattoos came to life.
What?
Maui.
But I lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, I think it's a signifier that... Does Kingpin have that strength in the show?
Not to that extent. Him ripping the door off and just a punch to Kate sending her flying. No. He's just a really strong guy. He's not super strong like that.
Then I think it's a signifier that this is, like, same dude, different universe, I think.
Yeah.
Also, I guess this is the one thing I'll bring up before we start using the notes. Jack will know what I'm referencing, and I don't think this is a spoiler, so I'm just going to say it. Was there any point you thought Spider-Man was going to show up in this? Because when Kate is showing, when Kate is, like, falling, I just expected Spider-Man to come in, grab her, and be like, hey, watch yourself, and then leave. And when the fight was happening and Kate couldn't win, I was like, okay, Jack got my hopes up in the Spider-Man review. If Peter Parker just shows up and finishes this fight.
I think I was going into this like, okay, they could.
And they
Because
could.
you could even have, you don't even need Tom Holland on set. You can just have Tom Holland record some voice lines in a booth and have someone else in the costume.
Do some CG.
That'd be fine. But, no, so, towards, the last shot of the movie is Spider-Man swinging through New York, through Rockefeller Center where the Christmas lights up. Past the ice rink and everything, and the tree. So I was like, okay, we know Hawkeye's going to end here. Are they going to meet up at some point? As soon as the tree fell over, I'm like, okay, cool. No, we're done now.
I mean,
the tree was standing when Peter swung by. So Peter swung by that tree in my head canon 2 days early.
Oh, that pisses me off. You're right. 2 days early, Spider-Man was there and just didn't help.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know when Rockefeller Center puts up their tree. It could have been weeks in advance, but
Well, in my headcanon, it was an hour early. Like, he just swung by at the wrong time.
He was off, getting a cat out of the tree or something,
As he's leaving, the tree just falls.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
I'm seeing that
How
movie
many
again.
are your apples?
I'm seeing that movie again a week from tomorrow. Yeah, that owl shit was weird.
I love that owl. He's so cute.
No,
He ate
no.
3
Sorry.
people.
No. He
May I interject for a second? I have a very irrational fear of owls. Let's just say a childhood experience did not go well. And, yeah, ever since then, every time I see an owl, I don't... No, nope. There's a reason why it took me a while to watch Harry Potter. There's a reason why I don't like watching that animated owl movie that came out like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't like owls. They're so creepy to me.
Here's the thing, Jack, and this is one I want to remind you of. Owls as creatures are birds of prey. The people in that little car are very dead.
Oh yeah, that's the implication, yeah.
Eaten by owl might be the most metal way to die, though.
Well, speaking of metal, I mean, if they don't get out of the truck, and the owl just eats the truck, they might get
Oh God,
hats.
don't do this. Don't do this.
I don't want that image in
I
my
would
head.
love it if at one point that truck comes back, though. Like, in the next Ant-Man, we just see a tiny little truck drive by. Gosh, and we know so little about the Marvel slate now, so we need that information. We don't
Oh,
even know when
did
Ant-Man's
you
coming
guys see the teaser for Doctor Strange 2?
Yes.
out. We saw it early.
We've seen it many times.
You lucky, you know what? That word that I do not want to say, but you get the idea.
Bitches?
Nope. The other one.
Ow.
You lucky owl. You lucky bastard?
Sure, let's go with that.
I don't know which one it is. I really don't.
That's a term of endearment.
But regardless of all of these random assertions that are definitely out of order, Jack can keep us in order with his notes. So, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah. Still got my notebook that's full, and I didn't have time to get a new one, so I just wrote it on paper.
Oh.
card, actually, hence why there's a QR code on the back from Hobbycraft.
That's good to know.
I got chills with the recap for this episode, just again when Hawkeye was like, Kingpin. It's like, oh my.
Once again, I skipped the recap and I just want to go into the episode.
I think one of my favorite things is when they say the names of the villains. Like, I like that they didn't even go, oh, it's Wilson Fisk. Nah, they just went in.
Yeah. But he was great, again, as we've said, with the cane. You see, the cane is the first thing you see. The first shot of this episode is the cane coming in, and then he parts the curtains with it. He gestures with it a few times. It's great that he has that again. He didn't need it in Daredevil. I didn't even realize it was missing in Daredevil, but the moment he had it in this, I'm like, oh my god, the cane.
So, I don't have any problems with the cane. I like the cane. But
yeah.
I do want to bring up something about the meeting that happens with him and Eleanor.
It was Eleanor all along.
I think this show is so weird because it's kind of segmented into 3 mini arcs. The first arc is Armand setting up the Duquesnes and the mystery because, you know, Jack was pretty important in episode 2, and then the rest of the series, he isn't really a villain anymore or anything. We get Armand's death, and the mystery and meeting of Clint and Kate happens. Then, Arc 2 is the tracksuits and the watch. That seems to be the 2 really important things of episodes 3 and 4. And then you get to the last 2 episodes where the arc seems to change and be about Yelena and Kingpin. Mostly. And there is some intermingling in there. Like, obviously, they bring up the watch in the first episode, and they mention it several times throughout. But when it comes to focus, it really feels like this show wanted to do 3 different things, when the whole show could have just been one of these things, or 2 of them. Like, I wouldn't have minded if it was like, if you cut everything about Armand and Jack Duquesne, you don't really lose much of the plot.
Yeah, you don't lose much of the plot, but Jack is such a fun character that you don't need him, but he's fun.
Oh, I loved him, and I do want to see him on the Avengers now, just a guy with a sword. But I do still acknowledge that, like, in that second episode, it really felt like he was manipulating Kate, and it felt like giving her that candy was him telling her, hey, I know you were there at the house, I know. But no, it's just a coincidence. And
yeah, he's a wee bit of a himbo, I think.
It's just one of those things where it was like, there could have been a deeper story here, and instead it was straightforward. And I'm always kind of going to be like, yeah, no, there's no problem with this, but what if, you know?
What if? What if?
Fair.
It's the sort of thing that they probably won't do it, but in, you know, a future movie or something, or even like a Hawkeye season 2 or something,
fingers crossed.
You have another attack on New York or some crimes being committed or something, and Jack has become a bit of a vigilante or something, and he just is popping up every now and then, stopping robberies or something.
I think we're going to see the LARPers again, and when we do, Jack's going to be with them, and he's going to be in his comic book accurate suit.
That's what they were said at the end.
I don't know if you've seen Jack's comic book accurate suit. It is like Hawkeye's comic book accurate costume, but sillier.
Oh.
It's like much more pink. It's got a thing right in the middle of his head. It looks somewhat ridiculous to me. But I would absolutely love to see it. I just think it's weird that, like, there was this importance. Jack saw it.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird that there was this importance about the mystery of Armand. It's something that got brought up several times. And same thing for The Watch, where literally in this final episode it's solved with, like, one piece of dialogue. Like, I was so focused on Kingpin, I barely heard her say that she's the one who killed Armand. And we didn't even see it.
Yeah. I think
She was the murderer in the building.
if we hadn't had that moment of Eleanor calling someone, which we now know is hiring Elena, I think if we hadn't had that moment, I think that sort of mystery would have worked better.
Mm-hmm.
In that we still would have been like, okay, it was a sword and the candy and everything. We'd still be, I think, relatively set on Jack, but I was still a wee bit suspicious of Eleanor. So then when Jack gets taken away, you'd either be, I think, then you'd sort of go, okay, Eleanor's framing him or something. And you'd have that sort of, if you didn't know until this finale, you'd then have the rug pull, and you could do more of a reveal with it that it was Eleanor. And she deliberately did it to sort of frame him for whatever reason. But instead, because we had that phone call so early on, we immediately went, oh, well, it's her then.
What I was kind of rooting for is that Jack was going to be revealed to be, like, still a bad guy, but not the way we thought. Like, Eleanor can still be the one who killed Armand, but maybe Jack works with Kingpin. Because I mean, I love, the big thing I said is I got to see Jack using that sword, and I thought he was incredibly funny, and I really liked him this episode. But I was digging this dude and I guess it is my own mindset now, or maybe he was just a powerful red herring, but I was digging this dude when I thought he was a villain. I just miss it, I guess. I don't know.
I think that when we looked at him with that sort of mindset of he's manipulating Kate here, he's sort of playing the bigger game, that was really cool, and it's okay. This is fun. We like him. But then I went right back around to liking him again with that line when he's just stood in the kitchen alone, and Kate and Eleanor are blushing. He's like, I feel like I'm missing something here. To which his response was, pull out my sword. Here we go. We will fight then.
I do also think it's a little weird that while having a sword and being accused of murder, he showed up
with the sword and at the party.
It's like I said, maybe it's his way of proving that he's innocent. He's not the brightest, I think, and I kind of love him for that. He's just
not the brightest bulb or the brightest light in the Christmas tree.
He's not what we thought. He's not as cool as a character as he could have been and everything. But he's fun for what he is, and I enjoy him.
Well, he could have bowed out.
I think the one compliment I'll give this show is throughout, even with its problems, and it does have problems, the one thing for me this show kept getting... I had to cough.
Oh.
The one thing this show kept consecutively getting was the Hawkeyes. I felt like they were both handled very well. And the show, like, I've always wanted people to understand why Clint's my favorite superhero, and I think now people kind of got an idea of it. Like, they definitely played around with it some. But something I feel like, it just really feels like this thing needed one more read through on that script, you know? Like, it's like, oh, a lot of this is pretty good, but we just needed one more read through to just touch up some of these things and make other things more important.
A few tweaks here and there, yeah.
I also, I think I found a plot hole. Or I guess it's just a question. I guess they could answer this. Why the fuck did the tracksuits want the watch?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't super add up to me now. I mean, you could argue they're giving it to Kingpin, but why does Kingpin need to know that Hawkeye's wife was Mockingbird?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that should be answered, hopefully will be answered, and there's a plan behind it, or that ended up on the cutting room floor somewhere.
Here's the thing. Now that we know that Laura is Mockingbird, which means her real name very well could be Bobby, but I want to see the prequel where it's Black Widow Mockingbird, and Hawkeye, and they go on a mission that ends with Linda Cardellini and Jeremy Renner falling in love. I want to see that story. But here's the thing, and I promised I would say what I've been hinting at this time. I was really thinking that watch was going to belong to BB. Would you guys like to finally know who BB is?
Sure.
I think I had an idea in my head last week when you said it.
Was?
Oh, that could be... Nah, I've forgotten who I thought it was. Go for it.
Well, BB are initials, and it stands for Barney Barton, who is actually Clint's brother.
Oh.
I was convinced, and I kind of underplayed it in the videos because, like, I didn't want people to figure out what I was talking about, because I was so convinced that I was like, okay, I could ruin the twist. I really thought it was going to be revealed that this watch belonged to Clint's brother, who in the comics is a criminal. He could have even theoretically, in my headcanon for this twist, been competition for Kingpin. And that's why they want the watch. Because it can be like, okay, we get this watch, we figure out who his supervillain name is Trickshot. We figure out who Trickshot is, and then we can go find him. I gotta be real, I'm very interested if they want to do more stuff with Linda Cardellini. But it kind of does feel a little cop-outy to have this watch where we keep mentioning, oh, it belongs to a friend, it belongs to somebody who's super undercover. And then it's just his wife. And you can't really put the pieces together of, well, why would they have wanted this?
Yeah, the why they wanted it, I think, is the big flaw of that plot point. Like, I didn't not familiar with the character of Mockingbird at all in the comics. So when they turned over the watch and it's got the SHIELD logo and I think a 19 on it, I'm like, oh, okay. Sharon Carter was Agent 13 and she's Agent 19. Okay, cool.
I mean,
that was about as much as my realization was there.
It does unintentionally hint at a darker future for Clint because Mockingbird in the comics is Clint's ex-wife.
Cool.
And essentially, she, like, for the longest time was Clint's love interest. She was another agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., obviously. And it feels a little weird that they kind of just shoehorn this in, especially because the watch was so important. What I really thought it was going to be is after credit scene, Clint froze the watch to somebody, they catch it, clearly demonstrating, like, they could have missed the watch, but their reflexes kicked in and they caught it. And then he goes, "They're looking for you, Barn." And then, like, it says Hawkeye Season 2. That's what I would have wanted. Or maybe just an after-credit scene where they revealed Kingpin isn't dead, because I think that is ridiculously stupid of them.
That's what I was expecting.
Well, the general public now... Look, if you Google it, I guarantee you there's going to be a million videos informing people that he's not dead. And if he is dead...
Article. Yeah.
If he is actually 100% actually dead, intended in the script...
That's sucked up.
Kevin, it's time to retcon that shit.
Yep.
And the fact that they didn't show the death on screen makes me think they haven't... If they did want to kill him off, they intentionally made it where they could retcon it if they needed to.
When I was thinking, did she shoot him in the leg or something, and he's going to need some prosthetic or something, so mirror her in that way, or shot him in the spine or something, or... I don't know. I was waiting. My head was just racing with, okay, so she didn't kill him. What did she shoot? How does this go? But the thing in the comics was she shoots him in the head and he ends up blind for a bit. Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going. But I think I said, like, I put this on my own, like, personal Instagram story and stuff. It's like, oh, the Hawkeye finale was quite good, I thought. there's one scene they should have cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you just entirely cut him hobbling down the street and Echo pulling up and them talking where we get in the gunshot. Cut that out. It just ends with the Kingpin, as far as we're aware, ends with the firemen and police officers stuff coming into the store. We see the bit where he was lying and he's gone.
Yeah, that's
okay,
it.
he's still out there. Cool.
Yeah.
That's all we needed.
Or if he went to jail, I wouldn't have even minded that. The idea of, like, this guy coming in, and from my perception, this is my first involvement with Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. This guy comes in, aces the fucking role. Absolutely aces it. Comes in, does everything right, looks really cool, super imposing. I'm wondering where he's going to pop up in the future. If the true ending is just Echo kills him, that's the dumbest shit in the world, and it ruins the fucking show. You spent all this time building up to the big guy. You gave us the big guy, and he's great. And then you took him away?
Pretty redundant, Marvel. Pretty redundant.
I mean, to be fair, like, not even just in Hawkeye, like, with the Echo shows and other projects down the line, it's pretty clear that, like, stuff's going on with Kingpin, stuff's going on with Daredevil, stuff's going on with a ton of different shit. I think the Echo show is where we're going to see stuff like that come to fruition. I think there's a real chance Matt Murdock could show up in that.
I do want to briefly talk a little bit Spider-Man spoilers here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put my hands up, and once they're down, it's safe to unmute and join back into the video. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone gone? Who's muting for now? Cool.
Your hands are up. We're good.
As long as you can't lip read. Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry.
You could always cover your lips with your hands if you really wanted to.
True, I suppose. Don't know what that'll do for my audio, but
yeah, I was referencing Spider-Man just now, by the way.
You can kill off Kingpin, sure. After we've had him for a little while, and he and Charlie Cox have to interact again. I'm sorry, you're not bringing them both back and not having them meet up.
It's so weird. It's so weird because, like, the Matt Murdock thing was so quick. It just happened, and then it ended, and it was...
I'm a really great lawyer.
It was really cool. They showed the powers. It was good. How did they fuck it up with Kingpin so quick? Like, Jesus.
It's just that one scene. Cut that one scene.
It's just that one scene.
And even then, it's not fucking up. That's not like fucking up with him. That's just...
It's just a
that
dumb
one
choice.
scene is the biggest mistake this show.
Even if he's still alive, it's a dumb choice to imply he's dead.
Yeah.
On his intro.
You could even still include the scene and just end it off before the gunshot, or end it off. He's hobbling down the street and a van pulls up, and then in the Echo show we'll continue from there.
Or after credit scene, just fucking show he's still around.
Yeah.
Alright, put your hands down. I think we're good. Sher?
Good now. We're good. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry.
The only thing we spoiled was, like, in the first 10 minutes of Spider-Man. Also.
Yeah, it's a spoiler for the first 10 minutes of the movie, but still.
Oh, no, it's still a big-ass spoiler.
People would be annoyed if we spoiled it.
Oh, of course. For another
moving down my notes. We arrive... Oh, no, we have... we make some new trick arrows.
Cool montage.
They did the cryo arrow. I was happy about that. Really upset no one got shot in the head. That's kind of what I was hoping for.
I think I've got another Spider-Man thing here, so I'm just not going to bring it up. That's fine. Me and Kneale will talk about it after.
Oh, okay.
No, I really like even all these new arrows had purple fletching on the end as well. It's like Hawkeye colors. Fuck yeah.
I also noticed the gas was purple, and even back at the beginning, the putty arrow was purple. So he did know a little bit about branding.
Yeah.
What did your notes say, Cher? I remember you mentioning you had some.
Oh, well, I mean, when I do notes, I usually do like my favorite parts or parts that I liked or stuff. Very silent night.
Oh, we're kind of just covering it all. You don't
Yeah,
want to bring
we're
one
kind
up.
of jumping all over the place.
Freaking pudding.
Like, literally, we just brought up the idea of making the arrows, and then we talked about the action scene towards the end.
Yeah. Peppermints. Oh.
Christmas-related swear.
Oh yeah,
Bah humbug.
I either say peppermints or ginger snaps, jingle bells, son of a nutcracker.
Son of a nut.
Oh, yeah, Kate, discussing Clint, the 2012 New York attack. I like that one. That was nice. Yeah,
her telling him that story.
being a hero, brave enough to do whatever it takes for the cause. Even when you have to arrest your mother on Christmas.
I did like that Clint called her partner.
Yeah.
But I think that line was not written super well. Here's the thing. I am nitpicking the shit out of this episode because, and I literally said this to my friend Pat, I thought this was a pretty perfect episode of Hawkeye until the Kingpin shit happened, and then I was like, oh my god, I need to relook at this whole series now. And then when I found out that he was still alive, I was like, okay, Kneale, just go with your gut. Just wait for the future. It's okay. But Jesus fucking Christ. Cher, when did you become a reindeer? Didn't you have a Santa hat earlier?
I started getting hot.
That's fair. I also grow antlers when I'm hot.
Blarp, blarp, blarp,
You
blarp.
guys
LARPers!
You guys can't see the picture of me in my Christmas sweater, but I like stapled a deer, like a plush deer, to my shoulder. It's a very strange image.
Oh yeah, the LARPers. The LARPers are like servants or whatever. Yay, go
That was
LARPers.
a good reveal. That was fun.
Yeah.
We're basically
I was like, why do they
Avengers.
look so familiar? And I was like, oh, it's the LARPers. Okay. And
Yeah.
LARPing is not a sex thing.
That's,
I'm making that shirt.
Oh crap! Oh no! I accidentally brought up our no. I fucked up the capture.
Uh-oh.
No. Hold on, I can fix this. There. I sent the image of me in the Christmas suit into the chat, and when I did that, I fucked up the capture briefly. But yeah, I liked seeing the LARPers come back, especially because me and my friend Skylar figured this out. They are all D-list Marvel villains that all have to do with the circus. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice little reference to Hawkeye's past, which they don't seem to be adapting. I kind of like it.
I remember you saying that was sort of a big thing in the comic. And I feel like if they were going to put some Hawkeye backstory stuff in this show, we would have needed an extra episode or two.
And I would have been okay with that.
Oh yeah, no complaints.
It's very important to the My Life as a Weapon comic, specifically the second issue. Because the second issue, he actually uses his Carney, not... Cher, are you okay?
I don't know why I thought you were about to say my life as a teenage robot.
No.
Quinn Barton, my
reviewing
life is a
Hawkeye.
teenage robot.
I'm just imagining Ginny from My Life as a Teenage Robot, but has Clint Barton, so like a robo Clint Barton with his arrows.
She would have gone for the costume with a H on that head. Come on.
Oh, hell yeah. In the behind-the-scenes shit, you can see someone wearing the comic-accurate costume, and what I hate most, because I really like the new costume he has, but what I hate most is they had an opportunity to put him in the comic book accurate suit, because what if the LARPers would have got confused and used Kate's original sketch she made and put him in the comic book accurate suit for the final battle. Now, granted, the one we see, the helmet looks a little goofy, but the suit itself is really cool, so I would have liked to see it.
Well, oh, were you saying, because wasn't it one of the LARPers in the background was wearing the comic book
Yeah.
costume? Yeah.
It looked pretty good by my definition. I wish he would have worn it.
I'm not a big fan of that helmet, looking up the image.
Yeah, they could have Captain America'd the helmet and like fixed it a little, made it look better.
Or even if that was like a part of the costume that, you know, they leave for this mission and he's notably left that helmet behind or something. He goes with the rest of it, but no, that's too much.
I would have liked it if he wore it for one scene. It like takes a bullet for him and then he throws it at someone.
Oh yeah, and then Kate finally confronts her mother, which that was interesting.
Yeah.
You're the reason it's dangerous out there.
Mm.
Ooh.
It was.
That was a good line.
She had it coming. She had it coming all along.
Here's where
If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it.
Here's where the problem with the show kind of materializes itself a little. Since they spent all this time building up Jack as a red herring, we didn't actually get a ton of scenes with Eleanor. So
which makes her even more
we
suspicious.
got a few. We got her on the bed talking to Kate. We got the backstory stuff. But I still
we got the whole like sit down after Kate is like trying to tell her, and you know, her and Jack dancing and everything. The whole like opening of
I loved the her.
Was it the first half of episode 3? I think we got her.
Wait, I just realized something. Where's Kate going to live now? Her apartment burned down. Her mom's in jail. Jack is theoretically joining a hippie LARP group.
With the bar?
She could just live with Clint, I guess.
For a little bit anyway. She'll couch surf with them for a month or two, I imagine.
Yelena should have went with them to Christmas.
Oh my gosh, yes, Yelena, the elevator. Oh my god, that was so funny.
That was great. I feel like Yelena showing up to Christmas might have been a bit much, but maybe if she sent a present or something.
She was wearing Christmas colors.
I think the show didn't also know who they wanted the villain to be. Because on one hand, Kate's mom is directly responsible for most of the things that went wrong in the series, even Yelena showing up. On the other hand, Yelena's kind of an antagonist. Then you got Echo, and then you have Kingpin. They were definitely playing the game of toss the villain.
Yeah.
Hot potato,
Which I think isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it didn't work in this show.
It wasn't a bad thing for me until it was time for Eleanor to be the big bad, and she just wasn't. Like, honestly, it would have been more interesting to me if Jack was the villain and he got a sword fight against Clint. I would have loved to see those two fight. Also, minor nitpick, and I acknowledge this is a nitpick, but I want to bring it up anyways. Clint should have fought Kingpin. There should have been a fight between those two. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah.
Another reason that we haven't killed him. It's come on.
I'm just saying, man, there is a lot you can do with this character, and if you just left him dead in that alleyway, fuck you for Ralph bonering me.
There's a lot of there's a couple of Ralph Boner moments in this episode.
I mean, to be fair, and I do want to state this because I'm saying so much of the bad side of things. I think the reason I'm picking on this episode so much is, in hindsight, I think I'm probably going to up my rating for the last one. Because episodes 3, 4, and 5 to me were like pristine. Can't touch them. Oh my god, so good. I gave them all 10 out of 10s. They hurt my heart. They really made me feel things. And they really elevated Kate to a character I really, really love now. I always like Kate, but, like, you know, Clint's my favorite. This last episode felt like it was a good payoff for things, and it was a successful ending. It's just hard to ignore everything else it could have been. Like, they have this running joke where they're like, what are we going to name the dog? What are we going to name the dog? And then the dog just got named, and there isn't even a huge scene addressing it.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, like, I was like, oh, well, that was kind of okay.
If you'd worked in one other scene in this finale somehow of him almost getting hit by a car again, he's like, oh, you're one lucky dog or something. You know, give us some reasoning.
I think, first of all, they should have made it where there was more of a reason for the tracksuits to want the watch. But I think
100%.
And I realize that this is a little goofy, but this is what I would have done. I would have had Lucky somehow either eat the watch or get it caught in his collar. I would have had something happen where Lucky is what the tracksuits are chasing. And also, that's more interesting for the action scenes. Because imagine if, while all that stuff was happening with Clint and Kate in the tracksuit lair, Lucky is there too, just hiding in the background while they're tied up. Or something like that, where they're like, this dog had the watch, how do we get it? And they're talking about, well, we gotta get it out of the dog. And stuff like that.
One of them suggests to kill it, and they all just stare at him like, what the hell's wrong with you, Igor?
Oh, I would love that. Also...
the guy saying to get, like, pulling the gun on her is like, oh, by the way, thank you for advice with my girlfriend.
Thank you for resolve with my girlfriend. That was funny.
And then he's like apologizing for it. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to.
They went. I can't remember what band they said. Coldplay? Was it Coldplay?
No, it was. I think it was Imagine Dragons.
No. Imagine Dragons.
No, that was Maroon 5, I think.
It was Maroon 5.
Maybe Maroon 5.
What it
was Imagine Dragons the first one?
Originally, he bought her Imagine Dragons. God, I can't believe we're so focused on this lore.
Which, by the way, I massively warmed up to that band because of Arcane. Yeah.
He bought her Imagine Dragons tickets, but he liked Imagine Dragons and she didn't. So he apologized and then took her to see.
No, that was but she was going to keep the tickets anyway or something.
Oh yeah, they broke up over it.
Yeah.
Kate saved that man's relationship. Really hope he didn't get eaten by an owl.
God, that's probably like my worst. Like, that's probably like the worst nightmare there, getting eaten by an owl because someone that's afraid of owls. That would be like my worst nightmare.
I mean, if you know anything about how owls treat their food, it's terrifying.
Yeah. I just don't like the way that they turn. The way that they turn their neck, like, looks so creepy.
I thought that owl was cute.
I thought that owl was cute. I think owls in general are cute.
I like owls.
I don't. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
It's childhood flashbacks.
PTSD.
But yeah, no, I loved that guy. I do want to bring up
POST.
I do
Post owl stress.
What?
Post owl distress. Stop shaking your head up and down as if you're proud of it.
I'm very proud of it.
You're fired. Get out of here. But
this is some Christmas.
Here's the thing, and I do want to bring this up just because I like this guy because he's from the comics. I'm pretty sure Ivan actually was in the car and got eaten by the freaking owl. Because
Ivan was with so it was Ivan, Kazi, and some other guy sort of heading forward, and then that arrow took out the two of them. So then it was Kazi.
Okay, so Ivan was probably just knocked out then.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think I only saw the episode once.
Well, in the comics, Ivan is.
I'll double check while we talk.
Ivan is kind of the main villain for most of it because even though there are like bigger forces at play, Ivan, who, if people don't remember, he's the guy in the black tracksuit. He's really the one pushing the plot for a little bit. Even though there are people who are manipulating him, he's still the one who's going after Hawkeye. Like, he's kind of the, how would I describe this? In Power Rangers, I guess he would be the Goldar who works under Lord Zed and Rita.
Rita Repulsa.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a Power Rangers reference for you. I got tons.
Yay, Power Rangers! Oh, I wish we can do that again.
I like Power Rangers, man.
Me too.
Jack,
I still have like all the SPD episodes.
God, I loved SPD. But Jack, the notes, my friend.
Notes. Oh.
SPD?
I like the lead-ins. We split up and got our own sort of separate climactic fights. We got our Yelena versus Clint. We got our Kate versus Kingpin. Sure. We got our Echo versus Kazi. There was 3 separate wee climaxes there.
I like that.
I liked most of them. I think I liked all of them, actually.
I liked that Clint's fight required a lot of hand-to-hand. Meanwhile, any time that Kate tried to do anything with Kingpin, it just was not happening.
Yeah.
She got lucky. She got his cufflink and threw it at the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
That cufflink.
I believe,
Netflix show, Daredevil.
Yeah, I remember somebody saying they believed that since he had cufflinks, it confirmed that the Daredevil show was canon.
I need to double check if they're the same cufflinks, but if it is, there's quite a story to those.
There's a story with the cufflinks?
You see Fisk as a kid and his backstory in the first season of the Netflix Daredevil, and not getting into it, but if that's canon. The rest of Daredevil doesn't necessarily have to be, but if that's still Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin's origin story, I'm here for that.
I might have to go watch Daredevil, because even though I wasn't interested in that show whatsoever, I did really like Vinny D'Onoff.
And if you're covering all the Marvel stuff, I mean, it's questionably canon.
Here's the thing, and I literally updated my list a couple hours before this review, so this is up to date. And I'll admit that my list has everything that is even, like, adjacently involved in the MCU. So there are 42 movies on my list.
I found the shot, can confirm Ivan is with Kazi when they come up at the end of the fight there.
I am glad he survived. I added the Deadpool movies. I got Spider-Man No Way Home on there. I got other movies on there that aren't necessarily in the MCU, like Venom and stuff. It is a 42 list, and I do not look forward to adding more things to it. I truly don't, because each time I have to let go, and now I delete this and renumber everything.
Wow, that's a lot, man.
It's commitment is what it is. It's fucking commitment.
It's like when Doctor Who added for the 50th anniversary John Hurt. It was like, oh yeah, no, so now the 9th Doctor is the 10th, and the 10th is the 11th, and then the 10th is still the 10th is the 12th, and then the 11th is the 13th.
I will say with like Yelena and Clint, we kind of do get a little bit of the stages of grief. Yes, we're gonna bring this up again. Bringing this up again, like with WandaVision. If you guys don't know, stages of grief. Hello, nursing, by the way. Basically, kind of going through like death of a loved one or something, or like losing a job or whatever. Mostly, usually revolving around death. So there's 5 stages. You got denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Though those are the main 5 stages. They're not in and necessarily in any order. You can have them at any time, any place. You can start with depression and move on to anger. It just kind of bounces back and forth. Now, we talked about this with WandaVision, especially during episode 8. And then here with Yelena, especially after the whole blip thing, the Thanos stuff happened, she is in denial. And she is very angry with Clint. because she wants to know what happened to her big sister Natasha, and Clint does his very best to tell Yelena what happened, even though, sometimes honesty the best policy. You don't want to lie your way through things because sometimes, the black truth is better than white lies. Just saying. Black truth is better than white lies.
I did also realize something while you were saying that, Cher. First of all, I love that scene because, ironically enough, this is a bit of a reference. When she's just beating him in the head with that stick, I like flashed back to Joker killing Jason Todd, where it's just like this person that cannot fight back, or in Clint's case, is choosing not to fight back, just getting wailed on in the head.
Yeah.
But the thing I realized is I figured out why the second Yelena became a good guy in the plot of the story, she left. It's because they don't want to reveal Val's agenda. That's why.
Right.
Because if she would have stayed long enough, Clint probably would have asked some questions. Also, Eleanor Bishop, what the fuck? You're claiming you're done with Kingpin and that you want out, but you didn't cancel your hit on the Avenger?
Yeah.
That's like arguably the biggest crime she was doing.
Seemingly, she straight up murdered.
Yeah, she ain't getting Mother of the Year.
I mean, yeah, that's one thing, but like killing an Avenger, like that is like big. Like you don't get to have a normal life after you're directly responsible for an Avenger's death.
Yeah, especially if your daughter's main idol.
This is actually kind of a plot hole to me because in the comic they bring this up when Kingpin goes about putting the hit on Clint. They do it very carefully because they know for a fact if you kill an Avenger, the other Avengers will come for you. And they mention that a couple times in Black Widow, and they mention it a couple times in this show too. So what was Yelena's plan if she would have capped Clint and then Thor showed up?
I avenged my sister. Job done.
I mean, that's fair. That could be it.
I don't think there's too much more she could have done.
Maybe she didn't care. That's fair. I don't know. I guess it's kind of sus on Val's part. I just want to know, because we kind of have two plot points running in tandem right now, where we're going to do all this shit with Kang, and that seems to be locked into stuff like Multiverse and of Madness and such. But we've also got this, we're clearly building up the Young Avengers. We're clearly building up the Dark Avengers. I really thought Kingpin was going to be involved with Val. I really did. I thought that was going to be an after-credit scene, too. I guess,
it would have been nice.
I guess I just...
You still could be?
I'm just weird, man. I'm weird.
Because we don't know enough about Val yet, I could even see it go the opposite way in that Kingpin is an obstacle for her.
That's true. Somebody trying to make a name for themselves and go up against the Avengers. Kingpin might have a problem with that happening in New York. Also,
he says it like 2 times in this episode. How in my city.
Yeah, and he was like, I need to... I like the line where he's like, we need to remind people who this city belongs to. How was assassinating one person going to remind people of that? Well, Willie, how was that going to happen? I thought they were going to go for Clint. I thought that was the big thing. They were going to kill an Avenger.
Seemingly the plan was to kill her at this formal gala of the city's high society, so...
It's also weird that he was going to get his hands dirty for that, but...
He wasn't initially. The plan was for Kazi to just snipe her.
Kazi was going to kill Clint, though, right? Because he takes the shot on Clint.
He was going to kill her, and then saw Clint in the window and was like, tell the boss Christmas came early. We're going to get all of them tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe he just got a little
change
upset.
of plans. We're gonna do this.
My bad, I was muted.
I also I have so many questions about what the Echo show is going to be.
Yeah.
Because spoiler alert, I don't think Kazi or Echo had any connection to each other in the comics at all. So the fact that Kazi died in this kind of felt like now we're going to go tell an Echo comic book story. So we have to get this character who has nothing to do with her out of the way.
And this character who's kind of responsible for her dad's death, and then she goes and shoots the other person responsible for her dad's death.
I don't.
I think it was kind of you know, tying up ish that story.
And I'm kind of with you, Jack. I wish they would have left that a little open, more because here's the thing: if Kingpin never shows up again, in the MCU, there's enough evidence to say he's dead, and that frustrates me, because with characters like Abomination, I have always been Abomination's still out there. I can't wait for Abomination to show up. He's still in there. He could show up in this movie, and now, of course, he was in Shang-Chi. We know he's coming back. It's really cool for that to pay off. Unfortunately, we don't have that with Kingpin. Until he comes back, in the lore, he is assumed dead. And that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. For everything this show does right, it does a lot of stuff wrong. I wasn't really grabbed in the first two episodes. Episodes 3, 4, and 5 really got me. And while this was a great finale with some awesome trick arrows and some great scenes, and I love the LARPers, Clint made me laugh my ass off when he looks at him, smiles, and goes, "We're all gonna die."
we're all gonna die.
It just really fucking sucks that, once again, it feels like we just needed one more draft of this script to iron out some of this shit. In my story, and obviously I'm not the Hollywood guy, I'm not getting paid for this, but I think Kingpin should have shown up an episode earlier, and that would have fixed a bit of it for me. Because, imagine if in episode 4, Maya has to go explain to her boss everything she's done. That would have been cooler for me. Because, I read into their relationship a little because I thought Vincent D'Onofrio was such a good actor when he was my Maya, and he was, really broken up about it. But if we could have seen more scenes of him actually treating this person as a daughter, I think I would have been heartbroken at the end when he says, "Maya, we're family." And I would have loved to see her in tears when she lifts that gun to his head.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed a little, meaningless. If we would have had, something a little bit more, then it would have made more sense, and we could have actually felt something.
I revert us all to my Captain Marvel review.
Oh, dear.
We needed more meat. Less breadsticks.
Less breadsticks.
And I'm not calling this show breadsticks. I still got this in my top 10 because the highs, for me, were some of the highest I've ever felt. But the lows were pretty fucking low. And to be fair, I could forgive episode 1. I could forgive episode 2. If Kingpin's fucking dead, I can't forgive that. That is so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to review this last episode because it's mostly just a fight scene and an end of the arcs. And a lot of the endings are clunky because some of them are literally one piece of dialogue.
Yeah, they kind of go back and forth, back and forth. I was like, okay, slow down for a second.
When he got home for Christmas, he literally just got home for Christmas. We didn't see them unwrap gifts. We didn't see his daughter run up and hug him and say, "You did it, you did it." We just get a, "Oh, you kept your promise." And
he's home, everyone's happy, hugs. Hope you don't mind that I like the line, "Hope you don't mind that I brought home a few strays." And then I think they do a little bit of a time skip because then we see like was it Nathaniel or like is it his youngest kid?
His kids in order are Lila, Nathaniel, and Cooper. No, Cooper's actually the oldest. Nathaniel's the youngest.
Nathaniel's the youngest. But no, we see him unwrapping a present. It's implied, okay, we did a bit of a time skip because then the kids are playing and the parents sit alone. It's like, by the way, you'll never guess what showed up. It would have been nice to see more of that, yeah. So you could have trimmed. I mean, the fight scenes were all great. But I was going to say, you could trim down. No, I don't think you could. I think you just needed an extra 2 minutes or something.
I mean, there were other episodes that were, like, shorter. Like, I think last week's episode was, like, 45 minutes, where this one was, like, 50.
But this one was like 62 or something.
What they could have done is literally like played the scene of Fisk and Eleanor talking at the end of episode 5, and it could have been like the episode ends on him saying, "I'm going to make an example of this city and remind everyone who this is, like who owns this city." And then you play Mr. Grinch. Then you have like another 5 minutes to just have a scene where like there were some scenes in this where the kids were great. Like the scene where Nathaniel's talking, Clint can't hear him. And I also really like the scene where he looks to Lila and goes, "You know you're in charge of these boys. You need to be in charge." I like that scene too.
Yeah, the family's great fun.
But they got nothing in the last episode, pretty much. They were just there.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know the name of the actress who plays Lila, but I do know she's related to Joe and Anthony Russo.
It's some I think, yeah.
I believe she's one of their daughters.
Yeah. Russo. Well, about actress.
I don't know, man. It's cool to find out that Lila was Mockingbird because, like, I'm an old-timey Hawkeye nerd and seeing Mockingbird is cool, and now I have this fantasy of, like, show me their prequel. But I don't know, man. Once again, for every high there was a low, and it's not the best thing in the world. That being said, though, there was a lot I really loved from this, so I would love there to be a season 2. I guess I'll go into my final thoughts. My ranking for this episode for the show on my 42 Marvel list is I actually put it at number 7, which is just below Age of Ultron and just above Captain America Civil War. Because and by the way, I should mention once again, I'm biased. This show did a lot what I wanted it to do with the character. Like, I'll even acknowledge for last episode, I think that was probably a 10 out of 10 too, and just in the moment I was a little harder on it. In hindsight. Because I actually did rewatch it because it was fucking good. This episode, there were times I was saying, man, this is a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. But when you think about it, there's a lot wrong with the show overall. And this episode perfectly demonstrates those problems, right? So I think for my ranking, I need to give some tough love. I need to say, hey, look, you were good and I enjoyed you. You gotta do a little better in season 2. You gotta wrap this stuff up properly. So I am actually going to drop from my first ranking. My first 2 rankings were both 8s. My other 3 were all 10. I am dropping to a 7.
Ooh.
And here's the thing. I do acknowledge that Kingpin was great, and there was a lot of good stuff in this. But this episode really showed me how flawed the rest of it was. To the point where I'm sitting here like, when you were great, you were great. when you weren't, you weren't. And I thought about, maybe it's a 9, maybe it's an 8. Or, maybe I could still give it a 10 because Kingpin's still alive. Nah, man, you gotta be harsh. Because you can't be critical with these things that you love. There's never gonna be improvement. Like, if people don't voice their problems, they never get fixed. So, yeah, I'm dropping to 7. It's still very good. I think the series as a whole is great. Honestly, I put it right up there with Age of Ultron. Like, Age of Ultron, I think, had some amazing moments and was really, really fun. But it was not perfect. It had some flaws. The villain was not strong. That's kind of what you get here. And I loved Kingpin. He needs to be handled a little better later. Or just cut that one fucking scene. So yeah, that's my review. But I do not want to end this on a bad note. I have wanted a Hawkeye show since I was really little, and despite the clunkiness, she's still beautiful. It's a great show. Please go watch it. I loved it. Again, episodes 3, 4, and 5 all got 10 out of 10s. I adored it. I just hope if there is a season 2, maybe we do get some of that origin stuff, and we do see some of these things get improved upon. I don't know, maybe a change in writing. I just really liked this show and would have liked it to been a little better, because it was so close to being pretty perfect for me. So very close. Which one of you two want to go next?
I'm good too.
Alright.
I think.
And if you want to rate this well, go ahead. I don't want to make you biased.
No, I do think this was close. I think this had the potential to have been a 9 for me, from where the last episode left off, and even for most of this episode, it was working its way there. We barely touched on it, but Yelena and Kate's back and forths in the lift and their fight through the office building and everything.
Yelena was great in this whole show.
Yeah, Yelena was one of the high points, and they didn't potentially kill her off screen.
Yeah.
I think I've not got really much more to say on this episode. I mean, I took a lot of notes, but it is just more sort of bullet pointing things as they happened. My biggest note is just
no.
shooting fist. Just no.
I like how there's a tiny no right above it where you're realizing what's gonna happen, and then the big no is when it happens.
Yeah. All in all, again, it might just be me, but like when we were building up Jack in like episode 2, it's like, okay, cool. And then they sort of stopped doing that. So I think had they revealed that he was a villain, unless he was really good in this finale, I would have been like, yeah, he's okay. But because we had him not be, he's just sort of a wee bit aloof, a wee bit dopey. Still really good with a sword and everything. Great for him. I'd love to see more of him trying to help in situations and everyone else sort of having to rein him in a bit. But no, I think I'm dropping down to what I gave some of the previous episodes at the start of the season, and I'm also giving this a 7.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I truly mean this. You know what? I'm actually going to bring up Spider-Man again, but I'm not going to give spoilers. I'm not going to give spoilers for Spider-Man. Something in Spider-Man... What if I actually gave a spoiler just now? Like, I was like, so, in the movie, when Peter Parker just butt-nakedly walks out and reveals himself to everyone. But the thing with... I'm not spoiling anything, Sher. You're good. The thing with Spider-Man is that movie was so good that even though it had faults, me and Jack felt guilty about bringing them up. Because the movie was so good, we were like, fuck these faults, who cares? The second Kingpin had a death fake out or died, I was like, well, you're no longer good enough where I can ignore these faults, so I have to bring them all up.
Mm.
And to be fair...
That's a good way to look at it, yeah.
This was a very good year for Marvel, like, all in all. Like, all of the shows came out this year. Shang-Chi came out this year, which is just fucking... I almost called it delicious. I think that, like, honestly, I like the direction this is all going. My favorite thing that was Marvel related that came out this year is still Loki. 'Cause with Loki, I got a lot of what I wasn't expecting and what I always wanted, and it was really cool. With this, I got a lot of what I was expecting and what I wanted, and then some bullshit.
And then it's a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah,
the episode was still good. I still really enjoyed this episode.
If I got to pick one
The
show
Watch
besides Loki...
could have had a better explanation, and those are the, as far as I'm concerned, the two major negatives.
This was probably my second favorite of all the shows, and if I got to pick one show to get a second season, it would be this one, because Loki's is already confirmed, so I don't need to pick that. But yeah, Cher, can we get your final thoughts? And if you guys want to say your favorite Marvel thing to come out this year, you can do that as well.
Jack, what was yours?
Okay.
Back to Jack.
I'm looking because I'm working on compiling my own list for my favorite movies and everything of the year. And in terms of movies for the Marvel ones, I mean Spider-Man.
Oh, of course.
Spider-Man. Discounting Spider-Man because not everyone in this call has seen it. Not everyone watching this has seen it. It is going to be high on my list, but ignoring it for the moment. What have I got? Shang-Chi is my highest rated Marvel movie, excluding Spider-Man. But no, Loki.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed by What If, ultimately. I remember saying, when we were talking, it's like, I'm really looking forward to Loki and What If. I was disappointed by What If. What If I was disappointed by? Loki went above and beyond.
I was pleased by What If for some of the episodes.
Yes,
Yeah,
the Doctor Strange episode.
Yeah, the
phenomenal.
Doctor Strange was probably my favorite one. Yeah.
I think my favorite was either Marvel Zombies or the Apocalypse episode, although I will say I adore that T'Challa Star-Lord episode. I think that episode's great.
That was sweet.
That was so much fun.
I miss him.
We all do.
I miss him so much.
Cher, do you want to give your final thoughts and number?
And favorite Marvel thing of the year?
Yeah, and then we can also talk about, we got a little bit of time. We can talk about what we hope the future gives us.
So, how do I want to start this? Okay, I was actually more of a DC fan growing up than Marvel. Home Alone.
Yeah,
this episode was very Home Alone. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, but no, like I said, I was more DC with like Teen Titans and a little bit of Young Justice and definitely Justice League for sure. I didn't really get into the live action stuff till later on, but for Marvel, I mean, I think the first thing I watched in theaters was the very first Avengers movie. I know I talked about this in the Captain America review, but I want to say the first Marvel thing I remember watching in theaters was the first Avengers, and that was like almost 10 years ago. And I was only like 11. So you guys can do the math. But I never really knew much about Hawkeye other than that he got brainwashed. So
yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's just there. I mean, I like Black Widow. Yeah. Woo! Black Widow. But I just thought, Clint was just, he was just there. And then when Age of Ultron came out, I saw a little bit more progressive with the character. I was like, okay, that's nice. Little backstories, his family, that moment with Wanda. So love it. Then like Civil War and Infinity War and then Endgame, which really did break my heart. And especially like going back to that scene with Yelena and Clint, how he had to explain that Natasha sacrificed herself to save the world. So, which I thought that was really sweet. So
that was a really good scene.
That was a really good scene.
I love that her response to that was, "You should have fought harder. I don't care that was her choice. You should have stopped her." And they then come together on no one could have stopped her.
Yeah, that was a really sentimental moment right there. So yeah, I think Hawkeye went from like this nobody brainwashed superhero to like this, I don't even know what to call him at this point. And
somebody not brainwashed superhero.
Sure, with a lot of red in his ledger, like Natasha. But I mean, I was like, oh, I wouldn't say I was like, with Kneale, like, yeah, I wanted to go see Hawkeye, yeah, he's my favorite superhero. I wasn't like that. I was just casual, like, sure, I want to watch it. It's cool. I like how it takes place during Christmas, because I'm a Christmas lover. You can't see my shirt here, but again, I thought it started off good. It started getting better. It's kind of like similar for me, kind of like with WandaVision near the end. It was like, yeah, it kind of flew too close to the sun. It kind of flew too close, man. I mean, there's some parts that are still unanswered. Some parts that are like, really? Did that have to happen? And like, oh, I guess Jack's not really a bad dude. And okay, we're going with this.
I like you, Jack. I think you're all right.
And then Eleanor killing Armin. She had it coming, by the way. But I do like Kate and Clint's relationship. I thought that was nice. I really hope she's in Young Avengers. Maybe not, but it would be nice.
She's the leader in the comics.
Yeah.
If they're doing a Young Avengers, they've got to. They've got to have her.
The second I saw Eli Bradley show up, I knew. It was one of those things where, like, yeah, we know.
Does he have powers in the comics?
I think yes. I'm pretty sure he inherited them from his grandpa, yes.
Cool.
Although I do believe there are versions of the character that don't. So I guess we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, but, I love the Christmas music again. Christmas is my favorite holiday ever. I probably love Christmas a little bit, or about the same as much as Disney. So, yeah, I should totally see my house. But anyways, like I said, it started off fine. It got better, and then it kind of took a nasty slope near the end, in my opinion. I'm definitely also giving it a 7 as well. As for Marvel stuff this year, I've only really seen, WandaVision. I've seen Hawkeye, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier. I just watched Shang-Chi like last month, and I've only seen bits and pieces of Black Widow, and I still have yet to see Spider-Man. I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch it till next year. So I will say definitely Loki for sure was the best Marvel show that came out this year for sure. Not because not because of my love for Tara Strong. Even though that final episode with that jump scare still freaks me out to this very day.
You gotta get past some of these things. That's your New Year's resolution. Your New Year's resolution is we're gonna get you past scary Tara Strong clock face and LARPing sex thing.
Don't forget the clowns. Don't forget the clowns.
Baby steps. Here's the thing.
I don't know. There's just something about Tom Hiddleston. He's a very charming man.
He is hot.
He's a very beautiful man.
He is.
He just has that charisma and.
Charisma, we'll call it. Yes.
Yeah. very, yeah, charismatic.
I
Very.
wouldn't mind LARPing with him. Dost mother know you weareth her drapes?
Oh no. No, but yeah, but I like I said, I actually did learn some things about Marvel that I did not know. I just hopefully will be able to find my Marvel encyclopedia. I know it's here somewhere because I was able to find the DC one, but I can't find the Marvel one for some reason. Then again, that might be out of date because it's like over 10 years. So,
Oh,
but yeah, so, and I also learned LARPing is not a sex thing.
you did.
That's what I mean. Like,
You grew,
that,
you grew
that's,
this year. You learned a thing.
yeah,
I
LARPing is not a sex thing. Agatha, I still love. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I thought it was cool. I like that ending part, where he became, Captain America. Loki, just, yes.
I'll
Especially
say
Carrie Fisher.
this, and it will. I guess this is kind of a reference to our Spider-Man review. I'll give my final thoughts. When this show is doing emotional deep dives into the character, this is some of the best shit we've gotten in the MCU. When he literally silences the world with his hearing aid so he can talk to Natasha, when he can't hear his kid, when he takes Kate's bow, there's a lot of good stuff in this show, emotion wise. And oh god, that
Yeah,
flashback
with
nightmare.
Maya, Yelena.
When he's just telling the story to Kate, and you can see how bad. Like, this is the first thing I've seen where I can go, Jeremy Renner is actually a great actor, and I would love to see him in more stuff. It just. It dropped the football. It dropped the football.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like I said, I haven't really watched a lot of Daredevil, so not too familiar with Kingpin, but I think you kind of blew it.
I,
Sweet.
I know Kingpin from mostly the animated series of Spider-Man,
Right.
and I liked what they were setting up with this Kingpin. One of my favorite Kingpin lines ever is Kingpin is choosing to help Spider-Man, and one of the other villains is like, "Boss, why would we help Spider-Man?" And Kingpin replies, "World domination is bad for business." So, just so you can say you called it, of all of the Marvel shit coming up, and we don't actually know what's next, which one do you think is going to be your favorite of next year? Do you think you could make a prediction this early? Because I don't even know if Loki Season 2 is coming out next year. But I think of the new stuff, Moon Knight looks pretty great, and I'm very excited to see Oscar Isaacs. I also think She-Hulk. Like,
Yeah,
there's some
She-Hulk.
cool Hulk stuff in the comics. I would love to see that.
I hope.
Before we do, sorry, Sher, what was your score for this episode?
Oh, 7.
Cool.
What were you saying also, Sher?
No, I mean, because I remember seeing that little Disney Plus upcoming stuff video. I was just I was so excited about Hocus Pocus 2, seeing that first footage that I completely forgot about the other stuff from Marvel. Because I was like, oh my gosh, Hocus Pocus 2 and Disenchanted. I really want to watch that so badly. I'm so happy it comes out next year. But I remember a little bit of She-Hulk and then Moon Knight and then crossing fingers, hopefully Miss Marvel's good. I know how we feel about Captain Marvel, but
I have faith.
I hope it's good. I don't want the show to be affected by it because of Captain Marvel or because of Brie Larson or
Well,
whatever the reasoning.
I don't know if The Marvels is coming out next year, but I loved Monica. So the idea
Yeah.
of Monica, Miss Marvel coming in and maybe being other characters that Captain Marvel could play off of and could, maybe just maybe give her a goddamn personality. Maybe then we could see a better movie out of it, I hope.
Let's see, upcoming Marvel movies.
Also, things like, again, it might just depend on who's writing her and directing and everything. But I saw a great sum up with Captain Marvel's character in the MCU that someone made. It was like, I connected more with her one line of, hey there, Peter Parker, than the entirety of her solo film.
Here's the thing, and I've said this a couple times now. That movie was so bad, I ended up loving the villain more than the main character. And the fact that Talos turns good at the end, I was like, hey, maybe he can
That's
get
the thing I was going to say. It's like, sorry, which villain?
Yeah.
No, Talos, Ben Mendelsohn, fucking great.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know who he was until I watched Spies in Disguise, and I was like, oh, it's that dude. Oh, okay, then
It's
yeah.
Krennic. It's
Yeah,
Krennic.
it's director Krennic. It's one of the Flex from Infinity Train Book 2 and Book 1. He has a cameo in that, but in Book 2, he's great in that.
That's another thing. We got, like, Marvel's ending for the year, but we still got Star Wars right around the corner.
Yeah. Star Wars and other Disney stuff, which again, Disenchanted 2, yeah, Disenchanted and Hocus Pocus 2, yes.
Yeah.
And of course Pinocchio. I mean, I like Pinocchio. It's just I'm not really a huge fan of puppets, especially the ones that look like human. There's a reason why I don't really like watching Goosebumps. You can figure that out.
I'm excited for the Tiana show. I think that
Yes,
Next-
Tiana and Moana. Yes,
next
yes.
year of Disney in general, like Disney Plus, looks pretty good for us. So,
Oh yeah, and then
you know,
Baymax.
we can keep our
Baymax
jobs here.
Yeah. I think I need to give. I'm going to be more open to the Disney Plus sort of shows now because all the sort of movie spin-offs. Like previously, I'm like, okay, you're doing a wee show about Doug from Up. Cool, that'll be fun. That'll be cute. But then apparently the ending of Monsters at Work was really good.
Yeah, I've heard
So I'm
that.
like, okay, everyone was praising that final episode. So I'm like, okay, I might need to check some of this stuff out.
I watched the first one and I was like, oh, this is just a show for little kids. All right. And then everybody was like, no, but the finale is great. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
we gotta go back.
Yes, more Tiana, more Moana. I would like
Yes.
to see more diversity, please and thank you,
Oh, of
Disney.
course.
Yeah.
We need more diversity.
Bring back the Owl House.
Bring back the Owl House. I still have yet to watch Owl House and
I
maybe.
still don't
For obvious
understand.
reasons.
Here's the thing, and I don't get this. I don't know why DuckTales was canceled. I don't know why Owl House got canceled. Why don't you just fucking put them on Disney Plus and make them like Disney Plus exclusive series?
DuckTales, I don't know at what point in production was cancelled, but like that was a great finale, and I don't know what you do next.
According to the showrunners, they said, and I quote, "We like to treat every season like it could be the last one we get. We are in a position where we can end the show." That's kind of what they said.
And there's a good way to go about it. Owl House, I've not seen any of season 2 yet because it's not on UK Disney Plus,
Oh,
and I don't want to pirate it because I want to support the show. So once it comes out, I'm watching it officially.
I mean, I would.
Calm the fuck on.
I loved Owl House.
I mean, I would love. I would, because I think supposedly when Tangled the series, because I love Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. I love the songs. I love Tangled. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. Supposedly there was supposed to be a variant spin-off, but Disney canceled it. They said no because they didn't. I guess because they didn't think that people were gonna know. They know more Rapunzel, and I guess they didn't think that variant would be recognizable or something like that. But there was like storyboards. There was like backstory with his mother.
Well, here's the thing, Cher. They're right, because even though I have seen that show, as soon as you said variant, I was like, who the fuck is that? And then I was like, oh, yeah, the guy Jeremy Jordan plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable, but like, I've seen so many fan arts, so many people commenting Varian's the best character, Varian,
I will say
Varian.
this, the Tangled show was so good, and I mean so fucking good, that I just like the idea of every single Disney princess getting a show. And the fact that that's happening with Moana and Tiana.
Yeah, and Tiana,
is
that's
a good
the thing,
sign.
like, honestly, I know how people feel about Frozen, and especially with Frozen 2. I think Frozen 2 was not as good as the first one, but
Obi-Wan comes out next year, too. I just remembered that.
Obi-Wan, okay. But, like, if we can kind of... Yeah, but I do agree. I think that I think the Disney princesses should get like their own like series or whatever. Even like Frozen. I mean, I know, like I said, I know how people feel about Frozen, but like we can kind of get some type of story, and the people want Encanto if Mirabelle becomes a Disney princess. I don't know, but I've heard some people say we need like an Encanto TV series, which comes out tomorrow, by the way.
Jack,
if you're gonna do,
yeah, what are you looking forward to as well?
I think if you're gonna do Disney princess TV shows, and this is a bad example because I don't think it worked. Sorry, but I think you need to have Brad Bird's sort of thoughts on Incredibles 2 with that, where he's like, I'm not making Incredibles 2 until I have a story I want to tell.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't just do, okay, these Disney princess shows worked, let's crank them out.
I will say
have
this.
a good story first and go, oh wait, this would be a good idea. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Let's build something good. Don't just churn them out, which is what I'm a little worried might end up happening.
I will say this: if you asked me to pick a Disney princess who deserved a show, I would have picked Tiana. Like I think, first of all, want to see her more as not a frog. Second of all, friggin', I want to see more of that world because we've seen one villain of that world. Imagine the others. Like, the one thing that Tangled consistently got really good was the villains. So if they can do that with friggin' Princess and the Frog, all the way, man. I am in. Take my money. I'll cover that.
Yeah, but Jack does have a point though. Like, don't just go in blindly. Like, actually come up with a story, which I think that's
Don't make a show about Aurora. Don't make a show about Aurora, please.
I mean,
but the thing is, like, Aurora, she needs some more personality, though.
No.
She needs personality.
Just let the woman sleep. Jack, go ahead.
But like I said, like, don't just go in blindly, which I think that's why the people that created Frozen are hesitant and saying no to Frozen 3 because they don't really have a story yet. And even though you
have a story for Frozen 2, I hate to break it.
No, I know that too. Yeah, obviously.
But
they kind of keep like last minute. I mean, I love the songs, but the characters and the story were definitely the weakest part of that movie. Definitely.
Jack, what were you saying before?
With the Princess and the Frog show. Sure, it'd be great to see some other villains, but I mean, sure, he's dead now. But come on, it's voodoo. Come on, get Keith David back.
God, I'd love to see Facilier come back. He could come back as a ghost. We don't know. There could be something.
If Jafar could come back as a genie, we can have.
There's
Facilier
a plot
back.
point where we can get Facilier back.
Oh, well, technically, remember the whole Hercules and Aladdin crossover thing that happened?
Yeah, I forgot that existed again, and I think we did a video on it.
I don't think we did one yet. No, I don't think we
watched it for one. I remember
we watched it, but we didn't do a video. I know we discussed it during our Disney villain talk, whatever. It was either our discussion on the Disney villains or the Disney princesses. But yeah.
Sounds.
Sorry, it's my dog.
Mute. Jack's gotta speak anyway. Go ahead, Jack. What are you wanting out of this year from Disney Plus? What do you think we should cover as well?
At the moment, Owl House Season 2 will be very nice.
Yeah.
I get a very strange feeling the reason it's not on UK Netflix is a similar reason to why Steven Universe isn't entirely on Netflix.
Uh-oh.
Steven Universe Season 5 has everything up to, what's this next story arc? A lesbian wedding? Nope, we're not touching that. Getting a strange feeling it might be a similar reason on Owl House there. But no, I'd love to see. I might end up getting a VPN or something to watch that. But no, upcoming shows. Kenobi, 100%. But potentially more than Kenobi, just because Kenobi's going to be great for the characters and the world. But I think the Star Wars show I'm most looking forward to is Andor.
Really?
Because I feel like there's going to be so much more of the world. Like, we got just a slight flavor of it at the start of Rogue One with the through the streets, this guy's not going to be able to get away, he's a liability, kill him, off we go. And he says later in the movie, it's like, I've been in this fight since I was 11 years old. The things I've done for this rebellion, and
I do
show us some of
remember
that.
Acolyte is going to be like a Star Wars murder mystery.
Yeah.
I'm up for that shit, too.
Hmm.
The Wookiee did it.
As long as it's not like, Hawkeye's murder mystery.
Yeah, no, it's not much of a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, though. I am very excited. I want to see Bad Batch Season 2, even though I haven't
Bad
finished
Batch.
Season 1. I'm like 4 episodes away. I'll
Bad Batch.
finish it
I
before
still. It's
Boba
not as good
Fett.
as Clone Wars, but it has some standout moments and like a lot of sort of story beats. It has some really good story beats. Bad Batch. There's like you take a step back and look at overall, really good. Some of the episodes, so, but the important moments are really good moments. And the characters. Book of Boba Fett is coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's got some Bad Batch tie-ins potentially. I don't know because.
We could
I mean,
see
the
some
clones,
stuff with Omega.
Omega. If Boba is codenamed Alpha, this is Omega to be same age.
Technically,
And-
they're brother and sister.
And I don't know. What happened in the last episode of Bad Batch that you saw?
In the last episode, I'm like 4 away from the end. In one of the last episodes I saw, friggin', they all cut their chips out.
Okay.
I don't mind if you want to spoil something.
I need to double check if that happens in this episode or not because there's a character in Bad Batch that shows up.
Oh, I know about Cad.
Yeah, Cad. He's still alive.
I saw the Cad episode. Don't you worry.
He could show up. He could show up in Book of Boba Fett, man.
Dude, Cad Bane is my favorite Star Wars bounty hunter. One of my favorite Star Wars characters. So, every part of me is crossed. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do, because nobody has said anything, meaning it's up to us. What I personally think we should do is cover the first couple episodes of Boba Fett, and if we don't end up liking it, we can go do something else. But we shouldn't stop meeting every Wednesday. We should keep doing stuff. And now we have to end on a joke. And the joke.
Oh wait, don't we have to plug ourselves in?
We've got a few wee last things that we haven't mentioned yet, being the scores for the series overall.
Well, I was actually about to mention it.
I apologize.
The
floor is
joke
yours.
for the season was me going to say, "Hey, you remember Rogers the Musical? Hey, Marvel, actually." Yeah, no, they should actually just do. It doesn't have to be on stage. But if, for, a Christmas thing next year, they just film a musical version of The Avengers.
Yes,
they don't
please.
actually have to put it on Broadway. But if they could just do that, I'd be pretty
Make it a reality! Make it a reality!
Yeah. I think if they're going to do it, they won't do it actually on Broadway. They'd just do it sort of like Hamilton, where they did sort of three screenings, three performances of it. We film it and get all the angles and everything and just put it on Disney+.
I would adore that. I also am not against the idea of Muppet Avengers.
Muppet.
I'm just saying.
I could see that.
I really like. Just imagine Miss Piggy as the Hulk, and tell me that's not great.
Hulk smash!
I don't know who could be Black Widow if not Miss Piggy, but Janet, I guess that'd be weird.
Who would
Fozzie is Hulk instead. And
Fozzie's gotta be
Piggy.
Hawkeye.
Oh.
Either Fozzie or Scooter. Scooter as Hawkeye might be my dream, though.
That could be a future video we do, Muppet Avengers fan casting.
I mean,
that'd be legit.
Kermit's gotta be Cap, though, right? Kermit's gotta be Cap.
Kermit America.
Pepe has Iron Man. I don't know who Iron Man is, but Pepe's a good choice.
Oh, because I went at university for animation in Bristol, which is where Aardman is based, or Wallace and Gromit and everything. I remember there was one lecture or something, we got a little bit bored, we were just coming up with the Aardman Avengers. It's like, the Pirate Captain America.
Well, I'm just imagining Pepe as Iron Man just going like, I'm a billionaire playboy philanthropist, all right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like I said, I know I talked about this like when Rise of the Guardians and the first Avengers movie came out the same year, 2012. So many people were trying to figure out like who's who and what's what. So a lot of people for some reason cast Jack Frost as Captain America, but I mean, okay, whatever.
I mean, he'd be Loki. Loki's a frost giant.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Also, I could imagine fan art of that being like something people would like to draw. Just Loki with white hair and in a blue hoodie. People would like that.
Guarantee you it already exists.
Oh, probably. Absolutely. So, yeah, I do think, like, unless I'm incorrect on this, this is the last Wednesday of 2021, right?
No, actually, because
Oh,
next week, yeah,
Nope.
next Saturday's New Year's.
Yeah. Still got another week.
Oh. Well, then
The
all
20,
of
the
this...
20 next, yeah, the 29th is the Wednesday. That's the last Wednesday.
So what you're saying is all of this into the year shit we did early?
It was Christmas in the episode of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
That's fair. That's correct. That's true. When does... Hold on, I'm just quickly going to Google. When does Book of Boba Fett release? Ah, it is December 29th, so it is next week.
Okay.
So yeah, we will be doing, at the very least, the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, right? We're all good with that? And then...
I think even if we don't want to do the whole show, even if we just do the first episode and the finale, I think
that's fair, yeah. And if...
I will say I kind of have like a little nursing thing,
We'll
so
figure
you
it
guys
out,
do
don't
it.
worry. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
But,
we'll work out whenever the schedules sync up and everything.
If we don't end up wanting to continue Book of Boba Fett, we could do other things. And once again, chat, you have to come in and tell us what to fucking do.
I mean, I'm up for doing Encanto. If there's a week where we're struggling to think of something, I still have my notes for Phantom of the Megaplex.
Oh my god,
Oh
you're
yeah,
right.
we're supposed to do.
We never did Phantom of the Megaplex.
I don't remember why
liked
we didn't.
that.
I don't remember what came up. I just remember that we didn't, and I still have all these notes about.
No, wait, we did no. While you were gone, we did Alice in Wonderland. We did Tim Burton's Alice, and we never
Oh my
uploaded
god,
it.
I never uploaded that. I still have that.
You do?
I think.
Bonus Christmas video?
Maybe.
Freaking uploaded
I
it.
just forgot. God, that
Dude, I watched Phantom of the Megaplex like 3 times and then I gave up. I gave up.
I watched
after-
it once, and my favorite scene from it I can still remember. I just liked that it was shot in a movie theater. That was going to be most of my dialogue.
And I probably would have made some type of comparison with that one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, but okay.
But chat, listen to us, man. If you give us stuff, we'll probably just do it because you told us to. And the one thing that I'm consistently seeing is people want us to do the classics of certain things. Like, people want to see some of the Disney classics. People want to specifically see the actual Star Wars movies. But the big one, a lot of people just want us to go back and do Mandalorian.
No, I have yet to watch Mandalorian, by the way, so.
Well, this could be a reason to. Oh god, I wonder if Ahsoka's going to be in Boba Fett. Because that makes sense for the timeline, right?
Makes sense for the time. Well, yeah, because Boba Fett is after the last season of Mandalorian, so yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense for the timeline. Luke has spoilers.
Yeah, but for classic Disney things, I'm your gal, so.
Luke has existed in the universe and will continue to exist, except when he's dead. That's what Jack was going to say.
The Force, though.
And not the plot twist that literally everybody knows, but we're going to be protective of just in case.
I know Plo Koon was so good.
Yeah, when Plo Koon showed up.
I love that they pre-rendered a bunch of stuff for that.
Yeah. Not even kidding. My friend actually thought it could be Plo Koon. So when we heard about that, we were like, oh.
I mean, he's probably dead, but if Dave Filoni wants to bring him back, I'm not complaining.
I think if he's alive, it doesn't make sense that Ahsoka didn't go looking for him. That's the only thing. Because Ahsoka really likes blood.
Yeah. And there is that thing of, every Jedi that survives Order 66 kind of devalues it. But there were so many, and then suddenly so few that it's fine. It's fine. We got a few more.
I've said this so many times, and I'm going to say it till the day I die. I want to see a show called Order 66, and it literally just be about every single Jedi that survived. Like, maybe have a solid 8, not counting the ones we already know about that survived. Because we know Kanan, Cal Kestis,
Obi-Wan, Yoda.
Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Yoda, technically Anakin, but I wouldn't count him.
Cal Kestis. I haven't played Fallen Order, but the pilot in that episode, wasn't she?
Yes, she is also a Jedi, so she counts.
I don't think the Inquisitors necessarily count.
I wouldn't count them; they're Sith.
And then we do know, the Librarian survived for a while, and then went back and was killed by Vader. And I think it's that stupid snake guy who was on the council in one of the movies, Oppo Rancisis.
My real question
is a snake.
Here's my question.
He's alive. We don't know where he is. He was just on a list of survivors.
And this is why we need Order 66 the show. What happened to Yarlpoof? What the fuck happened to Yarlpoof? Yarlpoof, for those who don't know, is the very stupid-looking alien who has a really long neck and a tiny tennis ball head.
Wait, what?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the robot chicken explanation is the canon ending for him.
I mean, that's fair. I can't argue with that. But, yeah, everybody, I think we've reached the part of the show where we plug, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, we can start with you today, Sher.
Oh, me? Aw, you guys are so sweet.
Alright, we can start with Jack if you wanna. I'm never sweet, bitch.
Well, I'm definitely the sweet one and the chaotic one of the group. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So, I guess, yeah, I'll go first. So, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I did last weekend, I filmed myself on my iPad using iMovie of all things. My top 10 favorite Christmas animated episodes. You can you could probably guess what number 1 is. It's kind of obvious. Just
Harold
imagine.
and Kumar Save Christmas. Wow.
The community animated Christmas episode. Yeah.
Yeah, the animated Christmas episodes, and I will say, for a Disney person, there's a lot of Nickelodeon stuff. So I'm just telling you, the first thing that pops into your head is most likely number 1. It's most likely number 1.
The Lilo and Stitch holiday special.
Is it not Rise of the Guardians?
No, I say Christmas. I say Christmas episodes, like from TV shows.
Oh yeah, I can't actually think of it. Also on Facebook, I sent you Yarlpoof.
Oh.
Don't spoil what your number 1 is. Leave that for the viewers.
I know, but I will tell you for my end of the year, I will say top 5. Number 5 or 4 is probably going to be Encanto, because I already know that's already going to be on the list. But I like Cruella. Bite me. I like Shang-Chi. That's number 2. And number 1 is The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Yes.
I love that movie so much.
About that movie.
I have many feelings about this movie that I just got on DVD today.
Yay!
I haven't seen it.
It's on Netflix, but I bought a physical copy anyway. Number
6 would probably either be Luca or Raya. Even though I said top 5, lol. But anyways,
I haven't seen either of those either.
No, but yeah, I could supposedly upload this top 10 list, even though it's broken up into 2 parts. But I don't know, because I'm having second thoughts, and I just don't want to offend anybody.
Do it, bitch. Do it. I fucking dare you.
Yeah.
So maybe as a Christmas present, I'll give you guys like a sneak preview for next year if I'm available.
One of my favorite specials was the Rugrats Christmas special, because they do talk about some stuff you don't usually see in Christmas specials, including like the reason Christmas exists and the biblical stories about Christmas. And they did a Jewish episode as well.
Yeah,
where
they did Hanukkah, they did Kwanzaa. Yeah, they did Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Those are, I mentioned them briefly because I didn't want anyone to attack me for not mentioning the Hanukkah or Kwanzaa stuff.
I would have
Because
attacked you with a scimitar, so that makes sense.
I want to make sure I'm, I want to get everybody. I don't want to exclude anybody. That's my reason. But I did briefly mention it. I'm letting you guys know. So
Yeah.
I guess my present to y'all, a top 10 Christmas episode animated stuff. So yeah.
And if anyone is offended, I have a scimitar you could use to attack Cher with.
Oh no.
A scimitar is
If
a large
the
sword.
title says Christmas episodes, then it's episodes about Christmas.
Yeah. Jack, do you have anything to plug? I know you got shit coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah. At the end of every year, I always do a few top 10 lists of favorite things from the past year. Traditionally being 10 favorite movies, 10 favorite anime, and 10 favorite cartoons.
Oh my god.
I know. I say I have a lot of free time. I don't. Oh.
What you said? Oh my god.
Hey, look, the world doesn't get to see Yarl Poof. They can Google it if they want to know.
Yeah, doing the 10 favorite movies of the year.
Really rough.
That's on the way. 10. I need to check. I think I was struggling to come up with 10 for some of the other categories. 10 favorite anime. Yep, that'll be happening. And it might 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It might just be a top 7 cartoons, but I'm sure I've just got it on my phone and I just keep adding every time I remember. Oh, I saw this. That was good. Those will be happening before or on New Year's, depending on how long they take to edit. But those will be happening. I hesitate to call it a review because in editing it is very much me trying to scramble together my Mad Libs random thoughts on the Cowboy Bebop live action show. That will be hopefully coming out in the next week. And then, of course, still going with My Hero Academia. 5 episodes left. Almost finished that season. And then I can take a break. And then the Attack on Titan finale starts up, and that's definitely fucking crazy.
What? I thought Attack on Titan already had their finale.
No, that was the final season, part 1. This is the final season, part 2.
I like how you mentioned cartoons. I don't know if this counts, but I would say my favorite one was Hell of a Boss.
Yeah, I think that's either my number 1 or 2. I'm shifting it.
It's not because of Richard Horvitz, as because I love Richard Horvitz. I love voice actors, so. But I love this is coming from someone that's not really a huge fan of adult cartoons, but I freaking love Hell of a Boss.
You especially said fuck.
I said freaking.
You said
it's rubbing off on you.
I did not say the word.
Fucking love it.
Everyone look back. She said fuck.
Roll clip. Skip back
Everyone
5
look
seconds.
back.
Go.
Happy New Year, everyone.
We're
She
not
said
editing that out.
fuck.
That's the note we're ending on.
Well, we're not ending on it because I still have to plug. Ladies and gentlemen, she said fuck.
No, I didn't.
You did. Jack heard it too. I really like Hell of a Boss too.
I did not say that.
Everybody look
I
back.
ain't gonna wash my mouth with soap either.
I'll show you in the review. I'll clip it. I'll send it to you. But, ladies and gents, it has been filmed. My review of Captain Marvel.
You did it! Did you survive?
Good for you getting through that.
I went through, I talked about it, I mentioned everything I wanted to mention. When I review things solo, though, I kind of review them in a different way. Like, I don't go plot for plot. I just kind of go, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like. If you want to watch it, you can. So I kind of went plot for plot and talked about some of the things. I tried to be a little more direct about it because I appall this movie. But I will say, when I went back and I watched it, I was fair. I was just. I gave it its fourth chance. Every time I watch that fucking movie, I just get mad at myself. Because I'm like, why do you keep doing this? But yes, it is filmed. It will be out sometime this week. And the first week of the new year, we will be covering my second least favorite Marvel film, which is actually Thor Dark World. That has not been refilmed, but it has been rewatched. So that review should be coming soon. Also, we are still streaming FNAF stuff. The one time I did stream... We haven't uploaded the VODs yet. The one time I did stream it, I ran into so many fucking glitches to a degree where after that stream, I just went to bed because I had such a headache from the visuals fucking up and shit. It was kind of gnarly, and I'm glad I categorized it. Like, I cataloged it, I mean. And finally, my last thing to plug for the year of 2021 is the other day, me and my friend Kyle decided, you know what, we should just start filming pretty much everything we do. And then I realized I got him all these weird Christmas gifts because Kyle is super weird. He is like the weirdest dude in the world. And you will be able to tell that from the Christmas gifts I got him, because we decided to film him unwrapping them and tell little stories about why he got what he got. So that will either come out on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So yeah, that's all I have to plug. Once again, I really actually do hope that they do Rogers the Musical.
Please, make it a reality.
It'd be great if they do. I'm not going to be too disappointed if they don't.
I swear to God, though,
what we got was great.
Well, at the end, when they showed the scene, instead of something with fucking Kingpin, I felt rickrolled. That is completely true. Also, you did say fuck.
No, I didn't.
You did say fuck. Anyways,
I'm in denial. I did not.
Yes, you are in denial. I'm glad you know it too. Do we have any jokes we want to end on?
LARPing is not a sex thing. I learned from the series LARPing is not a sex thing.
And then you said fucking.
I did not. Happy
you said,
holidays.
I fucking love LARPing, LOL, this is me, Sher, 2022.
What? Okay, now you're just putting words in my mouth.
You also said Kneale is glorious and I owe him $12.
No, but seriously, y'all, happy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you guys celebrate.
Non-denominational holidays, theoretically.
We hope you guys have a festive time. Spend time with family. Stay safe out there. Please.
Pet your cat.
Or dog. Or fish.
No, just your cat.
Or dog.
Or a goldfish. Fuck dogs.
Do not pet your cactus.
I said fuck dogs, and my dog just walked up like, pet me, bitch, and I did.
I don't have a pet, but I'm not
cactus.
gonna pet cactus.
Pet the cactus.
We have a lot of those in Vegas.
Don't pet it.
You can hug those ones. Those ones are massive.
Yeah, I'm not going to stretch it out because I don't think we have a better joke than Cher's slip up.
Now, son, don't touch that cactus.
You're dead to me.
Goodbye, everybody.
We're ending on someone else's joke.
Happy holidays.
'Tis the season.
See you next week.
I did not say F. I did not say it.
La, 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 la.
I did not. I did not say that.